Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with Janome. This is the Continental Club with Ann Hine. I'll be with you in just a moment. I'm trying to find my video here so I can pull it up. There it is, and get the comments going. All right, I have that working. Hopefully everybody will find me today. I know some people might be looking for me over on the Continental Club page, but I'm over here. Hi, Mary. Welcome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the camera on. I might leave this up just a minute more. Hi, Susan. Welcome. And since we've got enough people here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Put that on. Hi there, everyone. So welcome to the Continental Club. I'm Ann Hine, embroidery software for Janome America. And today we're talking about the Embroidery Link app. Plus, I'm going to show you a little bit with AcuAssist so you can see how they kind of can work together if you want to in some ways. So I'm going to show you that part of it. All right. And just to let you know, sometimes we stream on Friday over on the Continental Club, but the streaming software that I use only lets me go to two places here. Well, it won't let me go to a third party. Like that Continental Club page isn't a full page, it's part of this page. So Facebook makes weird things. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I don't know how many of you use the Embroidery Link app, but I think it's really easy. It's a fun way to work with your designs and with our CM17 at the same time, because we can send wirelessly, we can connect to it, we can pull things off of there, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my view and look at my iPad so you can see. Now we can use Embroidery Link app and our newer apps all on both iPad and iPhone and Android phones. Some of the apps do not work on the phone basis because it's too small, but you can put it on a tablet or the iPad. So I'm gonna open up and show you my iPad here. Let me get it started here, and there we go. All right. So right here, these are the old apps that we used to use. Those Screensaver and AccuSketch are not old, but I've gone over those before. In here, these are our newer apps, and we're going to talk about Embroidery Link today. But before we get to that, I wanted to show you AcuAssist really quick, because I'm not sure many of you know this, that when you're in AcuAssist, you can come down here, and if you notice up in my top right corner up here, my machine is green. I'm connected to my machine. I can click open the stitch chart and I can look at all these different, these are the designs for our CM17, and I can come in here, look at them nice and large, and if there's something I want, I can see it here and I can send it to my machine. I would touch the send button and there it would go. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to click back. I don't know if you'll be able to see from where, unless I might be able to zoom in really close with my camera here, see what happens. I'm going to put it back on the picture of me so you can see my machine. But what I'm going to do is once I get there, I'm going to click send so you can see that it's going to go to my CM17, which is behind me. Now it must be in the embroidery mode, and it is. So I'm going to come over here. Let me switch to this. There we go. And I'm going to try to zoom and move my here so you can see. All right. So there's my CM17. I'm just going to touch on my iPad the send button. There we go. And it's changing. You can see it is over there. There's that bow. It's hard to see it because of the lighting, but there it did go over there. You saw how that little thing went over. So if you had your phone open or you had your iPad open, you could look in AcuAssist and send it right to your machine. So it's very easy that way. So let me go back to my iPad, get this back in. There we go. And we'll go back over here. So I just wanted to show you that part quickly. I'm going to close this now. I'm going to X out of that and actually just close that out of the way. There we go. And then this is the Embroidery Link app. It opens like this, and then you would come in here to find your designs. You can turn all these messages off. I just leave them on in the beginning so I can remind you. You can, down at the bottom here, you can say, don't show me again. I just leave them on there. And so here on the left-hand side, it's going to be all your designs that you have in your in the app itself, all of these folders. And then at the bottom here, when I scroll up, this, I'm connected to my CM17. You can see that at the bottom there, where I'm connected to my CM17. And if I go to the Ready to Sew, you'll see that, let me make this bigger with the little slider at the bottom. That's the design I sent over there. So that's on the Ready to Sew screen. So if I needed to use that right now, I could select it and open it and edit it and then send it back to my machine. So there is that option. I can look in my built-in drive, all the things that are in my built-in drive. Now, all of these things here that are not in a folder, they are outside of my EMB folder, because you don't need to use your EMB folder if you don't want to. You just have to use that up arrow. Here is my USB stick for drive 1 and USB stick drive 2. So I can get to all the designs that I have in my machine, I've saved to my machine, or that I have on a USB stick over there on my machine. I love that. I can do the same thing in Artistic Digitizer as well. So that makes me very happy. I don't have to run back and forth with a USB stick. I can just be wirelessly connected to all of that. Now down here, I can touch where it says built-in samples, and I'm going to do that right now. But before I do that, I am going to show you how to create a folder up here, okay, in the upper part. So you would go over to the very top right, and there's a little check, a little beside the check mark is the, hang on a second. I got to get back here and go this way. There we go. I have to do the, there we go. The 3 dots, and it says new folder, so I can select a new folder. And I'm going to put, I'm just going to make it, and CM17 designs. Now I can, there we go. Now it's done. There it is. And that is under the My Designs tab right there. You'll see it right at the top. Oh, it went under the test one, which isn't really where I want it. So let me see if we can go back. And if I select, let me select it first. And well, I will leave it there for now. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go back to the bottom here and unselect that. And I want to, if this would work, there we go, get my fingers working. I want to bring in the built-in designs because I want to show you how you can save all these and put them in a folder in your program so you don't have to reload them every time, okay? And hopefully everybody can hear me and things are going well in that part of it. So I'm going to come up here to the top again, and where the circle check mark is, I'm going to touch that, and you'll notice all the designs now have a little circle, and then I'm going to hit the square with the check mark, and that selects all of them. I'm going to go to the 3 lines, and I'm going to do copy, and then I'm going to come up here to and CM17 designs. And then I'm going to touch the 3 dots again and say paste. And it says, yes, I want to put them in here. It may take a little bit for them to go. Let me see if it's, there's a lot of them. There's like 1,200 of them. So you can do them all at once like this, or you can break them up and do like 6 or 8 or 10 at a time. So I think it's going to be a little bit for that to load. So let me just see if I can go back. Yeah, because I think I maxed it out here. Let me close and reopen it. We'll see. Sometimes after I close and come back, it opens back up and they're in there. Okay, so here it opened back up and there are all my designs. They're in my CM17 folder right up here, which eventually I will move it because it's really in the wrong spot. So these are my other ones and I could go back to that at any time. So now I have quick access when I'm not connected to my machine. I still have all those designs to play with, which is pretty cool. I like that part. Hopefully you guys like that part as well. The other thing is, let me see here if I go. If I wanted to import a design, say, and earlier I did this, so let me see if we can go back to where I was. Okay, here we are. Not that one, sorry, this one. This is the Janome global page. And we have designs on here that you can download. And these are cut work designs. There's more here than that's shown. But right here, you can download them into your device. So if I touch download, they go right up here. I'm going to say download it. And they download at the very top. You'll see that little blue, I'll bring my cursor up there, right there. So they're downloaded. And now I'm going to touch it. And I already downloaded women's sports. Here's the cut work. So I'm going to click on cut work. And it brings me to my downloads. This is on the left-hand side. This is everything that's in my iPad. And here's my cut work designs. So if you download something from a website, designs, this is how you would bring them into the program. And this is zipped, and I just have to touch it. It unzips it, and there's the cut work design folder right there. And I can move that to a different spot if I would like to. Let me see if I move this and go here and put it on my iPad. And then I'm going to look here. This is all the stuff on my iPad. And then I'm going to look for those cut work designs. You'll see them down here. I'm going to put my finger on it again so they highlight. And I want to put them in my Embroidery Link folder. So you can see I have my women's sports. And then I should have, let me go back because I'm not sure that's where they cut work. Oh, shoot, I think I made them go away. But you can bring them up and put them into your, let me go get them again. You can drag them into your Embroidery Link app. Like I did up here, you can see the women's sports designs are in there now. Okay, now to use anything in your iPad that you've done that to, what you want to do is in Embroidery Link, you want to go to the import button. So we're going to go back here and I'm going to open up my designs and we'll open up my designs there. I've got to refresh that. Let's open a design like this one. And we'll put the Eiffel Tower in here. Okay, so now that I've got the Eiffel Tower, or I've selected all these, I know right here at the top, there's a plus sign. That's import. So that opens up this area here. So if I wanted to bring something in, you have to first get a folder open, and then you could bring in a design from your iPad that's somewhere in your iPad. So maybe if I go on my iPad and I look at Embroidery Link, these are things I've saved in my Embroidery Link folder. There's my women's sports. I can open women's sports, and I can open any one of these. I could take all of them if I want, but I'm just going to open one. And it's going to go right in with my CM17 designs because that's where I opened it. And I just saw it come in and then it went away. I may have to do it again. Let me go under test because I have a smaller amount of things there. Let's import it again. There it is. See how it highlights? So that's the women's sports, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. So I brought that in from being stored somewhere on my iPad. Now it's in my list of folders right here. everybody get that? Let me make sure if there's any comments. Everybody's so quiet. All right, very good. All right, so that's how you can bring things into the program. If you have something emailed to, like say there's when you go to get designs, sometimes you have the option to when they say download them. If you're doing it on your device, you would want to do it on your iPad or your Android tablet, and then you could bring it here. And then if you wanted to save it to your computer, you could download it a second time onto your computer and do a save there if you wanted to save it there. I know a few people that only use their iPad or their tablet and the Embroidery Link app. And then sometimes some people like to use Artistic Digitizer all the time. Some people like to use their iPad. So you have those options. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go and pick out a design, and we're going to work with that design over in our window over here. And I'm making these a little bit smaller so I can see what's there, because there actually is a design I wanted. I'm not sure where I put it. I had it out earlier. I don't think it's in there. All right, we'll just go back to these, and I'll pick one. Like this one here is a nice one. All right, so you have these here. I'm going to close it because at this time, if I just want to stitch this out right now, I would touch send to machine and it would go right to my CM17. Now there is a design over there already, so let me see what happens. I get this window here. I can send it to the ready to sew. I could put it in the built-in USB 1 or USB 2. So I have those options right there. I can put it right there right away. I'm just going to send it to the ready to sew that's highlighted. And it's saying, do I want to stop the design that is currently being sewn on the machine? And this is so that you don't send a design on top of something, because it's going to replace that design. Maybe you have a design over there that you didn't save yet or you're still working on. So I'm okay with that because it's not something that I want. And there it went. When it goes over there, this is the monitor program. So as my machine stitches, you'll see the arrow, the plus go around, and it'll move from the yellow to the orange to the brighter orange and to the green. If you have a thread break during that time period, it will give you the thread break sign up here that you have a thread break. It shows you, if you're looking on the left-hand side, the stitches, the speed that it's stitching, and how many layers it is. It's 4 colors, it's 4 layers. And then it would just stitch that out. Okay, so if my machine was running, let me see if I turn it on. I don't have it. Which hoop is this? I think that's my big hoop. So let's look here. Oh, RE20D, good. I have that one right here. I'm going to hook it up, and I'm just going to press start. I don't have any thread in my machine right now. I'm just going to see if we'll let it see so you can see it work. Hang on one second. Switching foot out of the way. All right, so let's see what happens when I hit start on my machine. So you can see the plus is moving, and it says rethread and start because I unthreaded it. So this is great because I don't like to leave my machine, and I usually stop my machine when I leave the room, but there's sometimes I'm across the room and I might have my back to my machine. I can have my iPad up and I can see what's going on. I could take this outside of here and watch what's going on, and I could say, oh, I got to go back and start this one again. It's like a little baby monitor. So I do like having it. It has some handy oh, you know what? For some reason, oh, there we go. There we go. I thought for a minute the screen didn't change, but it has changed. I think my phone is like a little bit behind everything. All right, so let's go back And I'm going to pick that design again. And this time, instead of sending it to my machine, I'm going to edit it. And it's going to come right in here. And there it is on my screen. And it's in the RE20. So if I touch the little finger, I get some little tools on the left-hand side. But let's say I want to change the hoop. I'm going to go over to the one at the bottom here that looks like a hoop. And then I have some choices here. I can make it as big as a hoop, or I can rotate my hoop or whatever. I'm going to change the hoop. That's the first one on the left. And I'm going to use the square hoop. And I don't know if I really want it as big as the hoop, but let's just do that anyways. There we go. And I'll zoom in so you can see. That did a pretty good job of recalculating. There's a little bit of mess right in here. I can fix that in this program if I wanted to. But what I could do is that's a little bit big for what I'm doing. So it's big, but I just want to make it a tad smaller. So I used my finger. You know what? I wonder if are we frozen where you guys are? Hang on one second. Can you guys let me know? Oh, there we go. My phone froze. Sorry about that, where I'm watching from my messages. All right, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit on each side. When you're doing that, it gives you a little number too if you want to follow along with that. Now that it's all selected, I can move it around anywhere in here. I can move my hoop up, and I'm going to put it towards the bottom of the hoop, but if I go too far, it shows me outside the hoop. So I'm just going to slide it up so it's inside the hoop but close to the bottom. And I'm going to pretend I'm making a back to school bag for a teacher. And so this is going to be my first design on there. Now up here at the top, this is called the clothesline. And if you can move it, if you put two fingers on it, you can slide it back and forth. It's better with two fingers because if you do one, sometimes you pull something off of there and you don't want to pull. This is the order of stitching. So if I pulled this off by mistake and it went back over there, then it's going to change where that stitch, that's the middle here. I'll show you how to move it back. And then you can see the orange appear. So you can pull these down and reorder your stitching with that. You just want to be careful. I just moved one right up at the top. On the left is the undo, so you can put it back, and then you can slide your finger along the clips. Sometimes I have, well, there we go. Gently. Okay. So if I picked this guy, I don't know which one that one. Oh, that's that guy over there. Okay. So you can select them up here and then you can see what they look like down here and say, oh, that one needs to be bigger if you need to make things bigger. So you have full control over everything, and it does scale. So when you resize, it scales those stitches up and makes larger stitches for you. Okay, so there we go with that one. If I want to bring in something else to go with this, I have my import arrow in the top up here by the sewing machine up there. And I'm going to click on that. And it takes me back to, these are my folders. It takes me back to things that are in my machine. So I can take a look at any of these folders or any of these designs that I may or may not want to use. And so I think I'm going to pick another design. I'm going to do a little bit of a layered thing. I'm going to pick this one here. And that's going to be quilting behind my design. All right, and it's as big as the hoop, but it's actually at the end of my stitching. So what I want to do is slide this over. There it's selected. I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to bring it back over here and stick it that way. Now it is behind all of the stitching. Did you see how I did that? I'm going to do it one more time so you can see it. I'm going to move my clothesline over. And then I'm going to pull my design off there, bring it up this way. When I bring it up this way, the design, all the things slide, so I know where I'm putting it. Let me undo that little part there. Let me get this. Oh, I moved it back. Let me redo it. There we go. All right, so now it's behind my design. So I easily made a nice layered design. So we're going to go to fonts next on this. You can't, now when we're talking about fonts, there are fonts that are already embroidery stitches, okay? If you have those, you would save them into a folder and then bring them in, like download them so that you can pull them up over here in where your folders, where all your folders are on this side. So that would be, I don't have any in here because I don't have any of those types of, if you have fonts that you bought that are already embroidery designs, okay, that's what you would bring that in here. You could open your folder up here and then you would choose what letters you need. And you could actually choose more than one, because if I was going to import, oh, not that one. Let me get rid of that one. If I wanted to import, you know, I could touch them one at a time and bring them over, or there's other options with that too. So if there are ready embroidery stitches, you can bring them in here. If they're like a BX font or a true type font, those are not embroidery designs. This is Embroidery Link and it works only with embroidery designs. Okay, so if I want to go back to my design, I can go here. Now I want to go to the built-in lettering. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything up here. Good. So in the built-in, we have 12 different fonts in here, and then you can just pick one of your fonts, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pick number 10. There we go. And then in my enter text, I can click in there and I get my keyboard and I can write, let's just do this. Hopefully I spell things right. Okay, school days. I think that's good. And then done. And then this little arrow, I can put that anywhere I want and it'll take my letters there. I have right next to where it says font at the bottom, I can change the size of it using the slider. So maybe I want it big like that. And I might want to move it over. There we go. I may need to come down here and click on what looks like an I. And would you be, if you were saying school days, would it be apostrophe S or YS? I always mess this up. But so there we, and if I have to change it, I can, because right down here it's still in my font box. So I can actually touch down there and let's just delete the S and we'll just say school day for today and done. And then I clicked on that little I and now I can put things on make things on a slant. If I wanted to slant it like this, I could put it on a slant, or I can curve it. Oh, thank you, Myra. Let's do that. Just YS. There we go. Spelling was never my good thing, I'll tell you, or typing actually. There we go. Let's do that. So easily I changed that to the proper one. Easier now than when you've already embroidered it. And then now that I have it in the curve, I can use these little arrows to make my curve wherever I want it. I could pull down on the center or push up on the center like that. Even more if it's outside. There we go. So you can play around with pulling on the little arrows here. And then once you have it in place, you have another alignment tool right here. And then you can align it to the left side or the right side or the center. So you have all those options for the piece that you're working on. And then you could just make sure you bring that to the center. There we go. And then if your design is done, this is what you want to do when you get done with it. You want to, you can send it right to your machine. You can see right there in the top right, I have the machine up there. I can send it right to my machine. Before I send it, you know, I might want to save this. Maybe I'm not going to stitch right now. So I could use the arrow over here on the left. It brings up the window of where to save the designs, and then I can click on there, and I could pick any of these folders that I might want to put it in, and I'm going to put it in my untitled folder down here. Sometimes before I start working, I'll create a folder for that day's work, and sometimes I just date it, and then as I'm making things, I just put it in that folder so I know it's saved into there. But we can put it in untitled, and then I can actually write up here what it is, and I can put summer days. There we go. And then I hit save. So I saved it down here in my untitled folder. There it is. If I need to change the name on that folder, I can come up here to my 3 dots. Oh, not 3 dots. I have to. I always get this. Let me see here. I got to select first, I think. Let me go back this way and close that. Oh, I have to go to my designs and then select it here. There we go. And then I should be able to rename it, and I can put today's date in there, whatever we are. Let's say August 2025, because that's what I'm for this year. And I've changed it. Now it's up at the top here, up there. Once I'm done, I want to click on that circle with the check mark, so I don't have anything selected. So if I want to change a folder or change a design, do something with a design, I can select a design, and then in the three dot window, I have all these options. I can rename that design. I can move it to another folder. I can delete it. I could copy it. I could send it to my machine right from here. I don't have to open it again. Well, I actually don't, Sewing Source, I don't work in the Janome office. I work remotely from my home. And I know today they were having some kind of staff thing. So the office closed, I think, at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that, East Coast time. So that's what, you're not confused. There is something, they are closed today. Things will be back on for Monday. All right. So that's how you work with that. We can go back to my design. I can let's clear that out of there. Let's open that back up. I can pick this design now, and I can send it right to the machine. I could send it to my built-in drive. Let's do that. And then I'm going to select built-in. Oh, so there must be something in here it doesn't like. We'll just go to the ready to sew. I think there's a space in there. That's what it is. There we go. And again, it's asking that the other design is there, and there's my design ready to go. Okay. All right. So let me put the camera back on. Here we go. All right. So hopefully that's a pretty big lesson on how to work with it. But I think a lot of times it's those beginning things of where do you find those designs? How do you get them in there? And there is a big manual for this as well. You can go to the Janome Global page. That's where I showed you where those free designs were. There's a manual there under Embroidery Link. You can print it out. It's like 25 or 30 pages. It's pretty good. It has a lot of explanation of what the icons mean and so forth. So I found it very helpful in the beginning. There's other things in here I haven't showed you, but I wanted to show you things so you could get started, because that's, we really want to just bring in a design and get started right away. As we go along, other lessons, I'll show you how to, remember that little stitch that wasn't quite right? I can show you how to fix that. There are editing tools in here that are phenomenal, and you can actually clip things away and get rid of them. So that's kind of fun too. I've done videos on that as well. All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go. I'm doing pretty good on my time. Let me see if there's any questions I missed. If you have questions, you can post them down below, and I'll come back. I usually get a notice, and I come back later, and I can answer them. All the videos that we're doing are being saved over on the Janome YouTube channel, so you'll find them over there. This particular one also is on our Janome Sewing Machine Facebook page. You'll find some there, and then some of our educators on Friday will stream to the Continental Club page. So you have that option, but you'll find all of them over on our Janome YouTube channel. So they're easy. I think they're easy to find there, and you can actually search for topics that way, machine things and embroidery or whatever you want to look for. So that's where you'll find that stuff. All right, I'm going to let everybody go. It is Friday, and since the rest of the office is off, maybe I should be off now too. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you for joining me in the studio. We'll see you again next week. I'm on Thursday next week doing Artistic Digitizer. See you then. Bye-bye.